Today, the Atlanta Police Homicide Unit is asking for your help. We need to locate 29-year-old Rayshawn Bennett. He's wanted in connection with the shooting of 28-year-old James Adams on December 10th, 2020. Investigators continue searching for Mr. Bennett, and we're asking anyone with information on his whereabouts to contact Crime Stoppers.
We have brand new information into a gang racketeering case. Atlanta rapper YFN Lucci has turned himself in. His real name, Rayshawn Bennett. He's facing charges connected to gang-related crimes tied to the Bloods gang. And Bennett's music video, Shine On, where lyrics promote gang activity.
The rapper is one of a dozen people indicted for racketeering last month. The charges all related to the gang activity spanning over a decade. YFN Lucci is also facing charges in a separate case related to the shooting of a Southwest Atlanta man back in December.
All right, well, YFN Lucci is asking to be released on bail and placed on house arrest because he was attacked. He was attacked on February 9th and stabbed by an inmate who used a homemade shank.
Hey, yo, squad, what's the drill? Since his rise to fame, YFN Lucci has had his share of ups and downs. Born and raised in the Atlanta, Georgia, Somerville area, YFN was no stranger to life in the hood and violence.
They ain't shoot too many times the first time. You can tell they had to pull up right here. They ain't even pull up in front of the house. They pull up like right here, and they was just shooting it like, you know, sideways behind the car in the street. They was in the street though soon, cause that's why all the shell was.
However, he wouldn't let that be an excuse. He would plot with his boys on how to make it out, getting motivation from his favorite artists at that time. No matter what he was doing in his life, music was his passion, and he knew that would be his way out. From his 2016 smash hit, Key to the Streets featuring Migos and Trouble, to his former relationship with hip-hop royalty, Lil Wayne's daughter, Reginae Carter, to the release of his latest project, Wish Me Well 3. Lucci has seen just about everything that the game has to offer. Unfortunately, this also includes the street drama as well. In fact, the last few years have been kinda rough on the brother. He's been dealing with everything from street beefs with other rappers, a hit charge, and a gang RICO case. The latter two are what he's still dealing with at this very moment. Lucci has been in jail for about a year and things aren't looking too good for the guy. Just recently, it was reported that he was stabbed in jail, now has an alleged bounty on his head. He is now begging to get out to await his trial. With fears for his safety, he just gonna have to hope that the judge cares as much as he does. Today, we break down the latest stabbing incident, as well as the rundown of what's been going on lately with Mr. Key to the Streets. So without further ado, let's skip the play and get down to business. In 2021, YFN Lucci was gearing himself up to have a mean run. His latest album, Wish Me Well 3, had just dropped in December. He even took to Instagram and dropped a video that captured his rise in the rap game, from stories of how he got started rapping in the first place to the first installment of his Wish Me Well series and all the trials and tribulations that he experienced on his journey. According to his interview with Complex around that time, Lucci had to get back to his hustle and his Ray from Somerville mentality.
At first, man, I just had, I had to go back to that Ray from Summer Hill mentality.
Right. It was clear he was getting his focus up and putting in hella work to keep his name alive, getting bread from real estate and doing a lot of features and collabs with other artists.
You know, that got my hustle on, you feel me, with the, I sold a property. I sold one of my properties. Dope. I started doing hella verses. Yeah. Like, since you can't do shows, people spending that bag on these verses, right?
Yeah, for sure. However, all of that energy would be to no avail. Matter of fact, let me scratch that. Let's just say he actually needed himself to hustle that hard because he would end up needing it more than he originally anticipated. It would be a tweet from CBS 46 reporter Jasmina Alston on Tuesday evening, January 12, 2021, that let the news out that the ATL rapper was being investigated for his alleged involvement in an Atlanta hit. Reportedly, officers were dispatched to the 900 block of Peeble Street in southwest Atlanta at about 5:20 p.m. on December 10th, and upon their arrival, they discovered 28-year-old James Adams lying on the street with a fatal wound to the head.
Atlanta police are searching for the rapper YFN Lucci in connection to a death shooting. His real name is Rayshawn Bennett. Bennett is charged with murder in the death of James Adams.
Or face, depending on which news outlet you got the information from. He was rushed to Grady Hospital, but he wouldn't survive his injuries. A second person, 32-year-old Kevin Wright, was dropped off at a local fire station by a private vehicle minutes later. He had a gunshot wound in his abdomen, but he would survive his injuries.
Another person was hurt in that shooting and survived. Police say 3 people were tied to the crime. 2 other men are already charged.
Atlanta police homicide investigators would end up determining the 2 shootings are possibly related. Lucci was charged with felony hit, aggravated assault, participation in criminal street gang activity, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Through an exhaustive investigation in coordination with the Fulton County District Attorney's Office and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, police also arrested 23-year-old Rayvon Boyd and 17-year-old Leroy Pitts in relation to the crimes. Rayshawn Lamar Bennett, also known as YFN Lucci, ended up turning himself into Atlanta's Fulton County Jail. According to the arrest warrant obtained by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Lucci was allegedly behind the wheel of the vehicle used in the drive-by that claimed one of his passengers' lives. On the night of the hit, Lucci and 3 other dudes that were labeled as criminal street gang members, sound like a 90s rap group, don't it? Reportedly drove to a rival gang territory where 2 people in the car opened fire with assault-style rifles. In a video recording obtained by investigators, James Adams reportedly said, "We finna F the city up, man," right before the shooting. The warrant also claims Lucci drove to the 900 block of DeMock Street about 5:15 p.m. local time and pulled onto a shoulder. It was at that point that Adams and 23-year-old Rayvon Boyd, who was seated in the front seat, allegedly started spraying bullets.
In which Lucci, a gang associate, allegedly drove his new Maybach luxury SUV, and 2 alleged gang members who were passengers opened fire in rival gang territory, including James Adams.
The 911 call alerting authorities to the shooting was released and revealed that Adams was manually ejected from the car and left in a nearby street to die.
Somebody is laying out. Somebody, I don't know if he barely.
Let me connect you. Stay on the line.
Somebody just threw him out of the car.
Let me connect you to the ambulance.
Man. Boyd, one of the alleged shooters in Lucci's car, was recently arrested in Miami along with 17-year-old Leroy Pitts, but Pitts' role in the shooting wasn't determined at the time. Lucci would later end up being let out on bond in February 2021 while the state prepared for his trial. However, the rapper allegedly violated the conditions of his $500,000 bond the first day he hit the streets. He did this by supposedly going to an Atlanta recording studio and strip club. Prosecutors also claim YFN Lucci's ankle monitor was tampered with because there was lots of missing and irregular data regarding his whereabouts for extended periods of time. They also claim he tested positive for several substances in his system, which they say is yet another bond violation. Lucci would then go on to be among a dozen people charged in a wide-ranging indictment in Atlanta and turned himself in once again.
Case, Atlanta rapper YFN Lucci has turned himself in. His real name, Rayshawn Bennett. He's facing charges connected to gang-related crimes tied to the gang.
The indictment was set to target alleged members of the Blood Gang. A Fulton County grand jury on that Friday handed up the 105-count indictment that resulted in a 6-month investigation. Some of the charges include racketeering, aggravated assault, hit, gun, armed robbery, property damage, theft, and gun-related charges. It is alleged that each of the people that were charged are associated with subgroups of the National Bloods gang. It says they had connections and relationships to each other and accuses them of committing a wide variety of crimes to protect and enhance the gang's reputation and to gain and maintain control of the territory. He's not guilty of any crime that's referenced in the previous charge and now in this indictment, Lucci's lawyer Drew Findling said on the phone interview. The indictment says one of the Atlanta gang subgroups of the Bloods, known as the initials YFN, was centered around Lucci. The YFN studio, located on West Peach Street in Atlanta, is a central point for the group and a notorious stronghold. YFN has continued to attract additional associates as Bennett gained notoriety, the indictment says. Lucci's lawyer would deny everything and claim that the indictment fails to even identify that YFN Lucci is an actual world-recognized rap artist. However, the indictment would not fail to cite social media postings by Lucci and others, as well as song lyrics alleging they are proof of gang involvement and criminal activity. You know how the game go. Safe to say his 2021 went nothing like he planned, and it's pretty messed up. Since he's been back in jail, Lucci has been going through it, and he's starting to feel the pressure of not having the support of those that he might have supported to a great extent at one point. This realization came as Lucci's trial date had been announced for May 2022. Fast forward to February 9th, 2022, and YFN Lucci would find himself in the midst of an altercation with another inmate. Both guys allegedly possessed sharp objects during the fight, though. Guards would say that they attempted to separate the men using tasers, but to no avail. Big surprise there, huh, man? During the incident, Lucci allegedly yelled, "I feel like killing this nigga." When the brawl was done, Lucci sustained a laceration to his dome and had to receive medical treatment. At this moment, it is unclear if it's the stabbing injury he mentioned in the documents. According to the report, the other dude would get charged with aggravated assault and battery. Currently, it doesn't seem like Lucci will be charged with anything involving this event. In the documents obtained by TMZ, YFN Lucci claims he was stabbed from behind while on a video call with someone on the outside. He claims the other inmate used a homemade shank to stab him. After all of this BS, it's perfectly understandable that YFN Lucci is desperate to get out of jail as he awaits trial in relation to his hit case, because he thinks he might literally not make it behind bars if he stays locked up. Since the February 9th incident, he says he's been told there's a bounty on his head among inmates. All of this has led to him fearing for his life if he remains in custody. It is for this reason YFN Lucci is asking the judge to grant him bond so he can get up out of that battle zone. He says he would be down to do 24-hour home confinement. He would even wear a monitoring device if he was let out. Given the history of his previous bond conditions, I'm quite interested to see if he gets what he is asking for in this situation, but only time will tell. Well, there you have it. Thanks for kicking it with your boy. Appreciate the love and support. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be sure to keep you updated with what's going on with Brother Lucci. I'll catch y'all on the next one when we spin back round for the next vid. And remember, stay smart, stay alert, and stay real. I'm out, y'all.